Hi, I'm Joe Ovsenek, President and CEO of P2 Gold. At P2 Gold, we're focused on our Gabbs Project in Nevada and driving it through feasibility in 2026.
Joe, good to see you.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to be here. There's a real buzz and vibe around the place, and 45,000 people seem to have rocked up. They're a bit interested in gold, it seems.
Just topical.
Yeah, but it seems to be driving the market as a whole, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, look, I'm sure you've got a week-long set of meetings lined up. What's the message you're here to talk to people about, and what do they want to hear from you?
Oh, look, when we're talking to people, most of our questions come down to what are you going to get done this year?
Yeah.
What are your deliverables? And when can you see production? And that's what we're focused on.
Show me the money.
That's the whole purpose of this, right? Actually mining the rock, selling the gold, and in our case, copper.
Old school, love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, look, maybe it's like kind of focus on some of those things. So I think we caught up recently, and you kind of laid out a kind of a sort of execution list for 2026, starting with obviously there's a bit of drilling to be done.
Yeah, no, look, we have a lot on the go. Right now, we have an infill and expansion drill
Yeah.
program going on. Started out about 15,000 meters planned. I think we're going to probably end up closer to 25, maybe 30. It's going very well. We have a number of deposits within the Gabbs Project, and the mineralization we're hitting is just consistent with what we wanted or better. So really excited about that. We'll be drilling through, I expect, May, June.
Right.
We also have a core drill on site where we're doing metallurgical and geotechnical drilling. That should wrap up end of Q1 into Q2. With all that data, we'd like to get a resource estimate out by end of the summer, and that feeds right into our schedule to have that feasibility done by year end. So that's on a project basis, moving that forward. In parallel, we've got the permitting underway. We filed our mining plan of operations. I've had some meetings with the BLM, Bureau of Land Management down in Nevada. And that's coming along well, and we're pushing hard on all the background studies to really move that along so we can get to production.
Right. When you say permitting for what? What are we going for?
We're permitting essentially a mine that we announced our PEA back in October. It was a 9 million ton per year mine producing roughly 110,000 ounces of gold a year, 33 million pounds of copper over 14 years on average.
Right.
And so we're looking to permit that, and while we're doing that, we've got some studies underway now on the mining side where we can look to increase that from 9 million tons a year to 12 million tons a year, because we'd like to get closer to 150,000 ounces of gold a year and 50 million pounds of copper a year. So It's a big year for us.
So in terms of the mine planning, you want to put this submit for a permit to mine, but where are you with the mine planning and that?
On the mine planning side, we've hired a mining engineering group to run some studies for us, because we've got the feasibility study underway. Kappas Cassidy's our lead engineer on that. They're more the process side, the overall site and everything else. And we brought in a mining team, Northern Lights Mining, and what we have them doing right now, because, well, to step back, in order for them to come up with a final mine plan, we need to have a resource estimate. So that's not out until sometime in the summer. In the meantime, we're running a bunch of trade-off studies. Okay, what's the optimal tonnage that we should be processing? Is it 9 million a year, 10 million, 11, 12 million tons a year? What's going to get us the best bang for the buck? And that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay. So there's a kind of sequence and a sort of order of play here for you. Obviously, you've got the money to do what you need to do.
Correct. Right? Yes.
And you've had a good reaction from the marketplace about the things that you're doing. I think the kind of feedback we've got back from you guys, these guys move at pace. And I guess time is money, but
it's universal.
Right. But there's some things you can't shortcut in there, right?
Correct.
So how do you get around? How do you work around that?
The critical path for us, we see along that timeline, is the environmental permitting.
Yeah.
And so what we've done to try to move that quicker, because our focus at P2 is always delivering. We set our targets. Often they're very aggressive, but we'd rather have an aggressive target and maybe miss it by a bit, then set something way out and float along. And
But these
achieve
baseline
it.
studies can be, like Nevada, is obviously a big mining state for sure, but they've timelines they work through themselves, don't they?
Well, often what happens is you get through your mining plan of operation, that sets out the guidelines of, okay, what do you need for your baselines and for your environmental impact assessment or whatever. And so what we're doing is we've started a lot of those studies up front before we have our mining plan of operations finalized. Because we know there are certain things that are going to be looked at. We've hired local consulting firms that know the area. They've done this work for other mines, other projects. So bring them in and get them working before the mining plan of operations is actually finalized. And so that gives us a bit of a jump start. So we're willing to take the risk that, okay, we may have to go back and do something a little extra here or there, or maybe we've done too much. That's rarely the case. But we'll take that risk in order to save time, because as you say, time is money, and we want to be, if all goes well and you can connect up the dots, efficiently, we could be breaking ground in late next year, and that's our target.
Okay, so the feasibility study is got to be pretty rock solid, and like anyone working on a feasibility study usually has a little whinge about inflation and rising costs and all the rest of it, but it's in a rising, metals environment. So swings and roundabouts.
Well, as much as there's inflation and everything else, but look at the price of gold. Inflation isn't 100%. Gold's essentially 100% in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Okay. So if looking at, I'm trying to work out where are we at? 250 million market cap at the moment.
CAD-wise, I'm with that 225.
You're in that range, right?
Yeah, we're in that range.
Right. So someone's saying to me, I want to produce 150,000 ounces a year. That's the kind of target we're going for. Companies like that are valued obviously nowhere near that. I used to think 5 years ago they'd be valued at 500 million. These days,
that's exactly right, depending on your stage. That's why we feel as we go through the feasibility and get our feasibility finalized, we should be re-rating up from that, say, 250 million market cap to $1 billion CAD to $1 billion US.
Yeah.
And that's through this year. Like, we have a line of sight on that.
Yeah, and that feels about right. But also that kind of near-term revenue story is attracting attention from different types of investors. The institutional investors are liking the sound of that at the moment. So that, but obviously they don't want you to fall over, but that kind of speed to market is attractive to them.
Yeah, well, as usual with these markets, when the money first comes in, it goes to the majors, the mid-tiers, the junior miners, and then the developers. And now it's flowing into the developers.
Not a lot of advanced development stories.
There aren't, because the market was so bad, nothing really got done. So there are not a lot advanced, and there's not really a lot of projects of size where you can get north of 100,000 ounces of gold in Nevada. A lot of smaller projects, not a lot with that kind of scale.
So how do you kind of handle it? What's the kind of defense for you? Because if someone kind of comes along and says, we'll take you out a little bit earlier, we're not going to let you finish your plan of getting into production and all the rest of it. From your track record, you and the team, you're used to moving things to a certain stage there, aren't you?
Well,
phase.
Our motto or formula is you build it. You
Right.
plan on building it, and if somebody wants to come along and pay that the shareholders like, well, then they can have it. But in the meantime, to create value, you have to move forward.
Yeah.
And so we're big on moving forward.
But you also got to kind of produce, and I want you to kind of hark back to your experience and previous sales, etc. It's like you got to produce as what a CEO, a mine building CEO, he's built 6 mines before. He said, of a recent transaction they did, he said, sometimes these scoping studies are a little bit fanciful and very entrepreneurial. So you need to build for a specific audience, don't you?
Look, yes. You have to have a robust feasibility study.
Yeah.
It's not a marketing document.
You got to work out who you're talking to.
Yes, and look at if
not bankers.
Well, but the problem is if you make one of these great feasibility studies that look fantastic, but they're not really rooted in any reality.
Yeah.
You build the mine, and then everybody says, well, your feasibility says you're supposed to be doing this. How come it's that? And then so you want to have credibility. You have to have a realistic feasibility study.
Yeah. Okay. So 2026, lots being spat out, lots of obviously lots for you to say, a few things in your control and a few things not so much in your control. Coming back to that valuation bit of the conversation, you know, I think it's easy to kind of say, well, we should be valued like this, should be valued like that. If there's a kind of scarcity of advanced development stories, that's got to make you more attractive, not just the industry, but as far as the exchange is concerned, as far as retail is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think, right?
There are limited projects of scale, and particularly Nevada. Nevada is, the more and more you hear about, especially look what's going on in other parts of the world.
It's literally going to jump to that, which is, what does tomorrow bring?
Yeah.
We don't know, but we expect.
In Nevada, you can pretty much expect it'll be the same as it was the day before.
Yeah.
Which is what, you know, because Mexico is off and everything else.
Mexico is, unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's sad, but we experienced these kind of issues way back in the late 2000s, not personally, but we could see the writing on the wall, and we stopped working in Mexico in 2009. And we're quite happy to work in Nevada.
Right. Yeah. Good. Well, I mean, as usual, fast, quick, to the point. Enjoy seeing what you're doing. I'm enjoying seeing that people are kind of getting what you're doing.
Yeah, we're starting to get traction. Yeah, it's good to see.
Okay, we'll see you soon then.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay.